my pleasure to introduce Rainier Meadows Windsong. Rainier is a licensed interfaith minister, and she's multi-talented, oh my. Teacher, an artist, a speaker, a spiritual guide. In the past, we've experienced the uplifting energy of her drum circle. So we are blessed to have an opportunity to have her with us today. The title of her talk is Moving into Grace and Ease. Let us welcome Rainier.
You guys hear me? Yes. Yay. Good morning. So did everybody have a lovely Thanksgiving?
Yes.
Only in America do we celebrate eating too much. As I was praying about guidance for the talk today, it came to me that grace and ease would be something to talk about, especially during the holiday season. Many of us multitask, have family and work plans, and sometimes we get a little too many things going at the same time. I know I experienced that with this Thanksgiving. I wasn't sure where I was going to spend Thanksgiving, and a friend offered to join me, which prompted me to bring some other people. And then I cooked the turkey at the wrong temperature. So we had a turkey-less Thanksgiving because the turkey was done. Dinner was served at 8, and the turkey didn't get done until 9:30 or 10. So just one of those ways that when I take on too much and I'm not paying attention to the details, and I know I'm not alone in that. Are there other people here that suffer from that same experience, multitasking too many things? Before I start this morning, I just wanted to share a couple things I found funny. I like to go to the bloopers on church bulletins, and I'm going to read a couple things that children have written about during Sunday school. But the first one is they asked everybody what was the name of Noah's wife, and 3 of the children said Joan of Arc. I thought that made perfect sense. And then they asked the children to write their own commandments as they understood them. So I'm going to read a couple of those. The first commandment was when Eve told Adam to eat the apple. The 5th commandment is to humor thy mother and father. And this one is a little adult, but I thought it was cute that this is the way children interpreted it. The 7th commandment is thou shalt not admit to adultery. So, out of the mouth of babes come truth. I always like to begin with a scripture. Even though I am a believer in everything in the universe, I find many of the holy books to offer positive suggestions and reinforcement. So today I'm going to read a verse from Hebrews 4:16. Let us therefore come boldly unto the throne of grace, that we may obtain mercy and find grace to help in time of need. And one of the things I wanted to talk about with grace and ease is just the question, what is grace? And I believe that grace is something that comes from the divine. It's almost kind of like a wave that comes over us and assures us that all is well, or shows us a way to look at something or to solve something. So sometimes we ask for grace, and sometimes grace arrives on us as a blessing. Are there people in here that have experienced divine grace? Yes. And the other thing, moving into grace and ease, to me, I think that grace is what God, the universe, the divine does for us. Kind of cleaning the slate, opening doors, opening windows, helping us change our perspective. And ease is something that we can do. And when we practice ease, the first thing we're doing is taking care of ourselves. When we practice ease, we ask for prayer support. One of my favorite prayers, I'm going to repeat it and ask you to pray it with me. And before we do that, I want you to think of a situation that is troubling or awkward or just downright, you have some really heavy negative emotions around it. So the prayer is from Mary and Windsong. It's very short. And it's God, Spirit, show me how to change my perception on this. And you put whatever your thing is into this. So let's all say that together. Spirit, thank you for showing me how to change my perception about this. And just remember that. So anytime that you are feeling rushed, anytime that you're in a crisis, anytime something comes up and your ego wants to act out, you can easily touch base with your highest self and be shown an answer that will help resolve the issue with grace and compassion. There are some times when I dislike somebody or something, and then I have intrusive thinking about it. And when I pray this prayer, I'm often shown something to be in gratitude about the person and the situation. So because in my belief system, the only thing that can change is me. And the way to change that is my thoughts. So when I'm able to go from the energy of disliking a person or situation into offering gratitude, I have shifted the frequency, the vibration that I'm on. A lot of us practice resistance. So we kind of know the right thing to do, and yet either conditioning or patterns, or sometimes we're just lazy. So we know that we're not doing something that would make our life easier. Anybody else have that situation? I know I have a little too much clutter. I know I'm not alone in that. And I know that relieving myself of some clutter would make my life easier. But sometimes I have an emotional attachment to things, so I have a hard time releasing. I want to share one of the wonderful epiphanies I had about resistance. I was shopping recently, and I know nobody else has been doing that. And I got to the store, and it was really busy, and there was one cart left. And I didn't have a lot to get, but I needed the cart because it was too much for hands. So I was pushing the cart, and one wheel was going sideways. And I was like, I can't believe this. So I'm pushing along, and the cart's sort of turning, and I'm trying to steer straight, and it's really awkward. And I put a couple things in my basket, and I was pushing, and I was using a lot of energy, and the cart was kind of trying to go two directions at one time. And I was like, okay, I need a little peace of mind about this, because the trip should have taken 5 minutes. And it was already taking me 5 minutes just to get in and out of the store, with the cart. So somebody beside me said, oh, I left my wallet at home, and they had a cart, and they just left. So I switched to their cart, and it was like, wow, this is wonderful. So I was going up and down the aisles and picking the things I needed, and it was like, oh, this is grace and ease. This is not practicing resistance. I'm not pushing against anything right now. I'm using the wheels of this cart. I'm using the wheels of God. I'm using the wheels of flow to move gently up and down the aisles. That metaphor of moving up down the aisles, up or down our life, we make choices, either through resistance or through grace and ease. And we've all made choices on resistance. And eventually, we either, on our hands and knees, move into grace and ease. And how much simpler if we would choose grace and ease at the beginning of a situation. If we would go into prayer. If we would drop into our hearts and our higher selves about what is the best way. And I find with prayer that not only is it my responsibility to ask, but it's my responsibility to listen. And sometimes I'll do a fast food prayer, God, I need help with this. And then I don't stop and wait for the small still voice, or the license plates, or the cart next to me, or whatever. I just kind of plow through. Do we have any plowers in here? So that's learning how not to be in resistance has been important to me. And self-care we talked about just briefly. But if I'm going to live a life of ease, I must do the things that cause me ease. So I must ask for support. I must rest. I must minimize my expectations, especially during the holiday season. You know, we all kind of have a pie-in-the-sky Norman Rockwell experience, and some of us came from the Brady Bunch of the Mansons, so it's never going to be it's never going to be a Brady Bunch or Father Knows Best experience. But we can move into grace and ease, forgiveness, gratitude. Those are the tools and the strategies that we can use to help us be in grace and ease. One of the simplest things we can do outside of asking God for help and listening is just to breathe deeply, to get centered, to get grounded, so that we're making a heart connection, not an ego connection. I know for me that my life goes much better when I'm able to make it a heart connection and not an ego connection. Because my ego wants to make people right or wrong. My ego wants to judge. And in my heart, and I have to practice this one a lot, because my ego can get kind of active. So in my heart, I'm making a connection with their heart. I'm allowing my higher self to make a connection. And I find that when I operate from that place, I am in a state of grace and ease. And being able to operate from that place makes my whole day go easier. So, some of you have heard me talk before, so I like to do little experiential things. I know you're excited. So I want you to form groups of 2 or 3, and it's okay if you know the person. It's better if you don't, but it's okay. So if you would arrange yourself in 2s or 3s, we're going to do a little sharing experience. So I want you to call yourself an A or an B, or if we need to a C. So all the A's, raise your hand. Decide who group is A. Okay. Does everybody have an A? Okay. A's are going to speak first, and you have 3 minutes to tell your partner, where's a place where you need more grace in your life. Everybody understand that? So the A's are going to talk first. The A's are going to tell their partner, where's a place they need more grace in their life. Now let me know when to stop. Okay, A's, go ahead. Now A's are going to share what they're willing to do to add more grace. So is there going to be some responsibility taken? Is there going to be some gratitude offered? Is there going to be a perspective change? What are you willing to do to add more grace to this situation? A's are telling your group. Okay, let's wrap up your stories. A's, come to a stopping point. And now for B's. All the B's, raise your hand. If you're a B, raise your hand. Now the B's are going to tell a story where they need more grace. And now B's, tell your partner how you're going to add more ease to the situation. How can you add gratitude or follow through or change in perspective? Do we have any C's in the room? Raise your hand if you're a C. Now it's the C's turn to talk. If you only have 2 people in your room, just rest in the space of gratitude. Now C's, tell her you're going to add E's to this situation. Okay, C's, if you can wrap up.
Receive everything the way I love it. So I do that. And it's funny. It says you will do it with my song.
Okay, C's, we need to wrap up. We're going to move on to the next thing in our experience today. One of the tools that we can use is hugging. So we're going to engage, I want you to stand if you're able, and we're going to engage in 20-second hugs with your people in your group. You're going to hug your partner for 20 seconds. A 20-second hug releases oxytocin. Let's quiet down. Everybody just be in your heart space. And hug for 20 seconds. 20 seconds releases oxytocin, the feel-good hormone. And when you're finished with your hug, you can sit down and we'll begin our meditation. Return to your seats and sit down. And to begin our meditation, I want you to breathe in to the count of 7. And breathe out to the count of 7. And now, I want you to breathe into each chakra to the count of 7, and breathe out to each chakra. So together, do your red chakra. Now do your orange chakra. Now your yellow chakra. Your green chakra or heart chakra. Your blue or throat chakra. Your third eye or indigo chakra. Your crown chakra or violet chakra. Now breathe into your white chakra. It's about 18 inches above your head. Into the count of 7, out to the count of 7. And now connects you to Source. Now we're going to do something called a soul sync meditation. You'll be using your fingers. So you're going to breathe in 10 times, just breathing in to the count of 7 and breathing out. You'll be touching your pinky and your thumb on the tips, and then you move to each finger. So you're going to breathe on every finger of each hand. Begin. And this time, when you breathe in to the count of 7, you're going to breathe out making a bumblebee noise. Doesn't matter what your bumblebee sounds like. So breathe in to the count of 7, breathe out making a bumblebee noise, and move your thumb to the tip of each finger. Can you do all 10 fingers? And this time, when you breathe into the count of 7, make the Om noise as you move your thumb to each fingertip. And as you're finishing, breathe this song in. And if you'd like to sing along, please do. gently and easily bring yourself back to this time and this place. When you're ready, open your eyes. Thank you for letting me be your speaker today.